All right, so we had our good friend Brooke Hansen back today, so she's not having to go through this, but let's just review. On these problems, we are trying to solve equations, and here we're trying to solve for a variable. In particular, we're trying to solve for x. So as we remember yesterday, I told you that there's a number of steps that you need to take to be able to solve for x. In this problem, do you know what you would do first? What was the first step you would take to solve for x? Distribute the 4. Very good. 3b to the third x plus 5 is equal to 4y minus 4x. Now, the rule that I gave you yesterday is that you have to get all of your x's on one side. So we will go 3b to the third x plus 4x equals 4y minus 5. Is everybody okay with that step? Who remembers the special thing that I do now? Take out the x. Thank you, Andy. 3b to the third plus 4 equals 4y minus 5. Very good. And my last step is to now divide off the 3b to the third plus 4. And we get x is equal to 4y minus 5 divided by 3b to the third plus 4. Any questions? If you had a problem like that on your test, could you do it? Danny, should I make harder problems than on the test? Danny, are you worried that this test will not challenge you? We'll see about challenging you. Wow, look what the cat dragged in. What up? You can join. You sit next to the Perez. Ooh. There's Ina out of class again. Only one person is out of class that often. All right, here we go. Problem number 7. A ball is thrown into the air. Forget about this. I'm going to change the problem, okay? I was going to prepare you for more than we really need, so we're going to make the problem a little bit more simple. Ball is thrown into the air. It's actually dropped. We're going to say you're standing on a cliff, and we're going to drop it from a height of 128 feet, okay? 240 feet, excuse me. 240 feet we're going to drop it from. And so h of t is going to be equal to negative 16t squared plus 240. The height is a function of time. This is the function that we're going to work with. A for the day. Who can tell me the height of the ball at time 0? Then it would be all the way on the ground. 128, or 240, excuse me. I'm sorry. I wrote a problem for your study guide, and it's 128, so that's why I'm throwing out 128. You're right. And how do you get that? You plug in time 0. You haven't dropped it yet. At time 0, 0 squared is 0 times negative 16 is 0 plus 240 is 240. So at time 0, it's at 240 feet. How would I figure out where it is after 3 seconds? After 3 seconds, what would I do? Plug it in. So we say h of 3 is equal to negative 16 times 3 squared plus 240. 3 squared is 9 times negative 16 is negative 144 plus 240. 96. Somebody checking this on a calculator? Very good. Ben was here first hour. Okay, 96 feet. Let's ask a more difficult question. At what time does the ball reach a height of 87 feet? How would I do that problem? At what time does the ball have a height of 87 feet? What would I do there? Where do I plug in the 87 for? The height. 87 is equal to negative 16 t squared plus 240. Now I need to solve for t. This is a quadratic equation. You can either factor. You can use the quadratic formula, you can complete the square, or you can use a very basic solving technique. In this situation, if you subtract 240 from both sides, 87 minus 240 gives me negative 153. Equals negative 16t squared. Divide by the negative 16. .56 equals t squared. Square root both sides. And we get 3.1. 3.09. Well, 3.1 seconds. You have to write the negative. I don't write the negative because we're not talking about negative time. We're not going to talk about maximum height. That's going to happen at a later section. We're not going to talk about the time that is reached, or actually what the maximum height is. But we will ask this question: when does the ball return to the ground? So if I wanted to find out when the ball actually hit the ground, what would I then do? I'll put in 0 for my height. 0 equals negative 16 t squared plus 240. I solve that just like I did the other one. This time I'm going to add 16t squared to both sides. 16t squared is 240. Divide by 16. T squared is equal to 15. Square root both sides. T equals 3.87. So after 3.87 seconds, it hits the ground. Any questions on those problems? Just some basic word problems. I expect that you would be able to do one for the test similar to that. Okay, so for your assignment, please make note of this. Problem number 51. Cross that off. If you have attempted it, good for you. You don't need to do it otherwise. And then I wrote down 79 through 83 earlier. I don't want you to do all that. I just want you to do 79 and 80. You can still do the 63 through 73, the odd. We can cross off 51, then 63 through 73, the odd, and then 79 and 80. You have the rest of the hour to work. Tomorrow, study guide. I will handle the study guide at this time. Some people stuck around yesterday after class and got it. They're more than half done. Let me press pause or stop.